morning. An exciting day here. It's great to be at the Whit Stevens Junior Nature Center. What a special place for our state. The only thing better than this place is the person that it's named after, a true icon when it comes to all things Arkansas outdoors, and somebody who frankly helped set the gold standard of what it means to be an Arkansas Game and Fish Commissioner. And so I'm excited that we get to be here for today's announcement. So thankful for all of the members of our commission who do an absolutely outstanding job. Arkansas well beyond outkicks our coverage when it comes to our natural resources and also the amazing people who help us conserve those resources, who help us protect those and help us promote them. And these are people who are successful every single day in their own business, but choose to give up their time and volunteer to be part of this commission. And they could not represent our state better, and we could not be more thankful for those of you who sit here today and the work that you do every single day to promote our state. Got our executive director, Austin Booth, who's also here, who does a tremendous job helping lead this organization and spending every day promoting our great state. When it comes to taking on a role like this, meeting a certain standard is something that you look for. And the person who is leaving this position has left extremely big shoes to fill. Bobby Martin is a legend, not just in Arkansas, but frankly across the country, and not just in outdoors, but in business as well. Anytime you can get people from rappers to businessmen to know who Bobby Martin is a pretty big deal. And he has done just an outstanding job as chair of the Game and Fish Commission. And I know he will be missed in this role, but we know that we will not miss him from his dedication to the outdoors and to conservation efforts here in the state. Because Bobby, we know where you live, and we will find you, and we will suck you back in time after time to make sure you continue to be integrally involved in what we're doing here. Brian and I have made no secret that promoting our state's outdoor economy is one of the top priorities that we have. We know it's one of the greatest assets that our state has. So making sure that we have a team around us through the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission that share that same commitment and same passion was so important. They say that you get to know somebody really well in moments of both victory and defeat. And I don't think that there is any way to experience both victory and defeat in Arkansas more than either going duck hunting or watching an Arkansas Razorback football game. I've had the opportunity to do both of those things with our newest Game and Fish Commissioner. You get to know somebody really well, especially when you sit all day in a duck blind and you never pull the trigger. I'm not saying the duck hunting was bad, but it wasn't our best day. And we spent the better part of about 6 or 7 hours sitting out in the freezing cold. And you really get to know somebody. You get to see their passion. You get to see what matters to them. You get to see where their areas of commitment are. And there is no doubt that Brandon Adams, our newest commissioner, and somebody I'm very excited to announce today will be taking that position, is committed to a few things that I certainly share and am glad that he will be taking on this role. He loves his family. He absolutely cares and loves his family in a way that I hope everybody gets to experience. He cares about our state. He wants to see Arkansas succeed in every area. And he loves the outdoors. And he loves the idea of making sure that every single Arkansan has access to the great resources that we have right here in our backyard. I don't think there's anybody that could step into this role and do a better job representing our state, fighting to protect our great resources, and making sure we take Arkansas to the top than somebody like Brandon. I know he is going to do an absolutely phenomenal job. Like I said, he's got big shoes to fill, and he's got to follow in the footsteps of great legacies, those like George Dunklin and Jim Hinkle, Whit Stevens, and now Bobby Martin. But I have every confidence that Brandon will do a great job. I know he's going to represent our state well. I know he's going to represent the commission well. And I know he is going to do a great job adding to this amazing, extraordinary, elite group of people that I'm so proud I get to work with every day. Thank you, Brandon, for being willing to take this on. And now I will introduce you and let him make a few remarks to our newest Arkansas Game and Fish Commissioner, Brandon Adams.
She's kind of a tough act to follow, but I'll try. To say that being appointed to this position is a dream come true would be wrong. Because, excuse me. I'm going to have a Sam Pittman moment if I don't watch out. Because in my wildest dreams, I would have never expected to stand here today. Having said that, this has to be one of the greatest honors of my life. For that, I thank you, Governor Sanders. I've been truly blessed in life in many ways, but without a doubt, my biggest blessing of all has been the unwavering support and love of my family, and they're here with me today. My wife, Brandy, my daughter, Blakely, my son, Barrett, my brother, Brian Adams, and my dad, Mill Adams. I've spent my entire life hunting and fishing in what I consider the most beautiful and diverse state in America. I grew up in Conway and spent time as a kid fishing at Lake Conway. I could not be more excited about being involved in the restoration project over the next few years and to see the effect it has on Faulkner County and Conway and the surrounding areas. After 37 years in Conway, my family and I moved to Jonesboro, and we spent 9 great years there, where we made lifelong friends, and we spent many mornings hunting in some of the best hunting areas that part of the state has to offer, including at Chairman Stan Jones' place. In 2017, our family moved to Fayetteville, where we currently reside and are enjoying all that area of the state has to offer. Since I was 11 years old, my family has developed and owned hunting and fishing properties in Lone Oak and Jefferson counties, which we still have today. The time that my son and my brother and I spend on these properties and my father, even today, is some of the most special moments in my life. Not only hunting and fishing, but the countless hours during the off-season, preparing and learning together the best practices for conservation and management of wildlife and their fragile habitats. Then, watching over the years how our efforts pay off. There's truly nothing I enjoy more. Sometimes we can even talk Brandy and Blakely to come with us. I want everyone in Arkansas to be able to enjoy moments like these. This is why it's so important to protect our WMAs and our publicly accessible recreation areas for all families to enjoy well into the future. I feel like living and hunting and fishing and working in so many different and diverse areas of our state gives me a unique perspective as to their needs related to conservation and habitat management. I look forward to getting to know this amazing group of commissioners, as well as the incredible staff at Arkansas Game and Fish. I also look forward to getting down to work during these challenging times. The difficult but necessary decisions that this current commission has had to make over the past couple of years have been bold and courageous. Sometimes those decisions were controversial, but were absolutely necessary in order for our future generations to enjoy the natural state the way my family and I have been able to do. In closing, I would like to say that if I can be half the commissioner that Bobby Martin has been, then I will consider myself a success. He will be one tough act to follow. As for now, I'll leave that up to Chairman Stan Jones to worry about. Thank you again, Governor Sanders, for putting your trust in me, and thank you all for coming today.
because I can, I'm going to put somebody on the spot. I think it would only be fitting if we get to hear a couple minutes both from our outgoing chairman, Bobby Martin, as well as from our new chairman, Stan Jones. Bobby, if you could come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Wow. Brandon, your words were great. I would say this from having been there as well. The heart you show was the best part. Y'all agree? Governor, thank you for your really kind remarks. I'm not going to rap anything this morning, although, Brandon, maybe I'll practice something for you. Often when you come to this point, George Dunklin knows it, other former commissioners, it's supposed to be about bittersweet, but it's not. It's really about sweetness. All of us, I think, can identify with this, and that is living in the state of Arkansas is a huge blessing. Y'all agree? I would tell you, having the opportunity to serve the state, as I've had over the last 7 years, is an even greater blessing. Brandon, you do come on. I think at a very challenging time, but a very interesting time, a very fitting time, I think, that's evidenced by the governor's choice of you. But this is a strong group of commissioners, I would say, because I know them. It's been made even stronger, Governor, with this appointment. My last remarks, because I had a chance to practice it a whole lot as I was saying my farewells. There's things that I always thought about the Game and Fish Commission of Arkansas. There's things I know now. I would say this. Arkansas is very fortunate to have this Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. This Arkansas Game and Fish Commission is very fortunate to have the men and the women that serve this state. And Brandon, you'll get a chance to see that up close and very personal. By the way, you're going to run through about 6 sets of tires, so save that in the budget. But for me, Governor, out of my life opportunities, I do seriously say this, and with all sincerity. My time doing this is among the richest that I've ever spent. Brandon, I could not be more excited for you, and I'm in your neighborhood. But, buddy, it is all up to you, so get her done.
Thank you, Bobby. Governor, first gentleman, Brandon. Hey, Bobby is a tough act to follow. He really is. Bobby, but I always like to follow Bobby. He always dots I's, crosses the T. He says everything that needs to be said, and I don't have to say very much. So I kind of like going after Bobby. We've come a long ways. I want to introduce the commissioners before we do. Bill Jones from Pine Bluff on the end, Philip Tappan from here in Little Rock, Rob Finley from Mountain Home, Anne Marie DeRamus from here in Little Rock, and J.D. Neely from Camden. And I'm Commissioner Stan Jones, and this will be my 7th year and beginning of it. And, we just kind of rotate. It's a 7-year appointment. I would tell you that Game and Fish means more to people than people realize. If you just knew how many hunters there was in the state of Arkansas, if you knew how many people that fished, the streams that we're involved with, the land, the food plot, the animals, the WMA, the care, it's not a little job. And George continues to be involved, and some of the other commissioners. We put a lot into this. When I was a kid growing up, if I just saw a deer track, just a track, it was a big deal, a big deal. Now I can walk out my front of my house, and sometimes I see deer walking across the bean fields. We've come a long ways in everything. Our fishing, our hunting, our ducks, the knowledge that we've gained, and it's given me a great knowledge of the staff that we have, the people that we have that work at Game and Fish, that provide the scientific things. Common sense goes a long ways. It does. But if you take a little common sense and mix some scientific stuff with it, make a better decision. So, Brandon, we're tickled to death. Governor, what a great choice. If you would have called me, I would have loved to recommend Brandon. You made a great choice, and Brian, y'all have done well with this, and Brandon's going to fit in good. I can just tell you we're going to stay the course. We're going to move this thing. Everything that we do will be what's good for Arkansas. It'll be what's good for the hunter. It'll be what's good for the fisherman. And the other little thing that we're going to do that we always do, we care about the wildlife, replenishment. It's not just about how many we can kill. We want to provide and make sure that 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road, we still enjoy this beautiful state that we got. Thank y'all. Governor, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank y'all so much for being here today. And again, congratulations to Brandon. You are going to do a phenomenal job. And Bobby, we will find you. Thank y'all so much for being here today.